teacher assistant, Leo. That's my little dog I talk to you about all the time. Okay, so now we're going to learn about time. Let me get my cards here. There's some important math vocabulary words that we need to know. This word is time. This word is minute, hour, clock, analog clock, digital clock. Hey, I want you to read them. Ready? Your turn. That's right, time. That's right, minute. That's right, hour. That's right, clock. That's right, analog clock. That's right, digital clock. Okay, well, what is an analog clock? Well, an analog clock is a clock that looks like this, or a watch that has the numbers that are going around the clock. And I noticed that this clock looks like a circle. And a digital clock looks like this. This is a digital clock. So a digital clock is numbers. It has 1, which represents the hour. It has the colon spacing between the hour and the minutes. And then the zeros here represent the minutes. This is a digital clock. This is an analog clock, and this is a digital clock. I'm going to set this analog clock to match the time of the digital clock. This blue hand right here represents the minute hand. Do you see that it is the long hand? And the red hand here represents the hour hand. Okay, Leo, can you tell me what happens to the blue hand? Is that true? Okay, so the blue hand will travel around the clock like this. When it travels around the clock like this, you have a whole 60 minutes. And then the red hand moves to the next interval. Well, let's talk about the different parts of the clock. I want you to know that it is a circle, and I want you to know we studied about our shapes. And we studied that the circle, that the clock, the analog clock is a circle, and that we studied about how it has halves, fourths, and 1/12. Okay? So when we divide up the clock in halves, then that way we have 1/2 and 2/2 of the clock. So that's how you get an hour that says a half past, or a half past, and then you would say 30 minutes. Then when you have it divided into the 4 parts, that would be a quarter after, 30 minutes, a quarter till, and on the hour. And then if you notice that when it goes into the 12, each part is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 12 parts of the clock. Each part represents 5 minutes. Okay? Let's practice counting on our demonstration clock. When we move the big hand to the 1, that's 5. Then we're going to count by 5s all the way around the clock. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. When we get to 60, that means we have met an hour, past an hour of time. There's 60 minutes in an hour. And did you notice that our hand keeps moving, but it moves slower, and the minute hand moves faster. Okay, did you notice that each one of these is our 5-minute quadrants of the clock? And that you can see how I've taken that clock and I've added my numbers to it to represent the quadrants of the clock. Just like this one here. See, I've added the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, now, and then you can see I have created a clock. I have created a clock here. I didn't glue on my minute, and I didn't glue on my minute and my hour hands yet, because you're going to place them on your paper clock when I call out a time. Okay, are you ready? What would 1 o'clock look like on your clock? So the big hand is on the 12, and then the little hand would be on the 1. Let me get it there. There we go. Now, when it says half past, where would the minute hand be? So you place your minute hand on your clock of where it would be for half past 1. Where would it be? So let me put my demonstration clock like that. Okay. Now, how about you try 2 o'clock? Good job. Let's see if you put your clock like mine. There it is. Okay, so now we're going to read a book about time. All about time, Max. In this book, you're going to talk about how we have morning time, which is AM, and we're going to have evening time, which is PM. Pay attention to the times that happen in this book. Time to wake up, Max, called my mom. I yawned and checked my watch. 7 o'clock. Let me write that on the board. 7 o'clock. I wake up at the same time every morning. Then I do it all the things that I need to do before I catch the school bus at 8:05. And I'm never late. 8:05. Every morning from 7:05 to 7:15, I take a shower. From 7:15 to 7:20, I brush my teeth. From 7:20 to 7:30, I get dressed. From 7:30 to 7:45, I eat my crispy crunchers. Yum. From 7:45 to 7:55, I walk my dog, Zombie. I call him that because I love monster movies. And then I go and wait for the bus, and it comes at 8:05. Mrs. Dunn, the driver, is on time every day, just like me. All right. I have to admit that for a while I was already late. It was really late. That's how it started. Time to wake up, Max, my mom called. I showered and I brushed my teeth and I got dressed, and then I reached for my digital watch. It wasn't on my nightstand or my bathroom pocket or on the sink. Oh no, I tied my Air Turbo gravity-defying sneakers and I ran downstairs. Hey, I said, has anybody seen my watch? Nope, said Mom and Dad. Nope, said my sister. What am I going to do? I moaned. I have a watch you can borrow, said Ann. You better hurry up, said Mom. It's already 7:50. Oh. It was 5 minutes behind schedule, and I put on Ann's watch, called Zombie, and zoomed out the door. And when I got to the corner, I decided to check the time. Yikes. It wasn't a digital clock, a digital watch. This one has hands on it. What time was it? I couldn't tell, and I ran home as fast as I could. Oops, my mom was waiting outside with a not happy, very happy look on her face. You've missed the bus, she said. So Mom had to drive me to school and write a late note. And so I was so embarrassed. Think about that. This is when you get up in the morning. So this is a.m. A.m. means in the morning before lunchtime. When you eat lunch, that will change when you have 12 o'clock. We eat lunch at 12:15 at school. So that's after 12. When it's after 12, that becomes p.m. Okay? So this time here for Max, he was brushing his teeth, he was taking a shower, he was getting on the bus. That happens a.m. before 12 o'clock. And then when we eat lunch at school, it is 12:15. At 12:15, that's after 12, so that is p.m. Now the story takes place on another day, Saturday. So let's find out what happens to him. The next day was Saturday. I was excited because I was going to be going to my first surprise party ever. Dad was going to drive me. He kept yawning. In case I nod off, be sure to wake me at 5:30, he said, and we should leave then. Think about 5:30. When do you think this party happened at 5:30? Well, do you get up at 5:30 in the morning and go to a party right away? No, you don't. I think it would happen in the p.m. time. That means it happened after lunch. You know, at 5:30, sometimes it's dark outside when it's the winter time, and when it's the fall season, it's dark outside. So that means it's p.m. So you can tell how it's p.m. by what it looks like outside. Now sometimes p.m. can be daylight like it is in the summer. Let's read on and figure out what else goes on with Max. I stared at Dad. My parents are sort of old-fashioned. There wasn't a single digital clock in the house. 5:30, I said, stalling. You know, said Dad, when the big hand is on the 6 and the little hand is in between the 5 and the 6, he smiled. That made it a little easier. Okay, I said. And when the little hand was past the 6 and the big hand is on the 5, and I woke up and my dad wasn't very happy, not at all. Max, he said, I asked you to wake up at 5:30, and you woke, and it was 6:25. I must have mixed up my hands. We drove straight to the party, and I missed the best party when everyone jumped and yelled surprise, and that was a bummer. That Sunday, Mom and Dad went to the movies to see The Boy Who Ate Cleveland. Like I said, I love monster movies, and so does Mom. And we got to the mall early, and I wanted to go to Jay's, and I said, he might have some monster comics for me. I want to go to a CD store, said Mom. I'll meet you there in 3:15. 3:15. I'm going to write that on my board. 1:15 after. I'm going to take a look at that later. 3:15. Okay. I looked at the clock, the comic books for a while, and then when the clock said 3:15, I went to my mom. Max, I've been waiting for 10 minutes, Mom said. The movie already started. But I'm on time, I said. It's 1:15. A quarter is 25 cents, and that is 3:25. No, Max, Mom said. Time doesn't work like money. 3:15 is 3:15 or 3:25. So we missed the movie. I felt pretty bad. I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to show you my clock that I've divided up. Did that clock that I divided up. There it is. You see, this clock is divided up into quarters. Remember we talked about that? 1, 2, 3, 4. And the reason why Max thought it was a quarter is because 4 quarters equal $1. So that's why he thought that it was 25, but it's not. 4 sections of the circle equals a quarter. That's a quarter. 4 means quarter. So you have 4 quarters in $1. So that's why Max thought that way. That night, Mom called me into the living room, and the whole family was there. So were papers with clocks and numbers. Max said, "Mom, we couldn't help notice that you can't tell time." I felt myself turning red, but I can't tell time on my digital watch. I said, "Besides, I have a headache." "Relax," said Dad. "We've made a little game to help you, like a treasure hunt," Mom said. With the prize at the end, Ann said, "Yeah." I said, "It's almost sounded fun." Dad said, "I needed a few hints about time." We talked about some stuff I think I had in school. Ann drew up pictures for me, and then Mom told me this rhyme. "The little hand has all the power. That's why it tells the hour." That was easy to remember, okay? I said, Where's my first clue? I'm going to have to practice context clues. I need to stop and read that again. The little hand has all the power. That's why it tells the hour. I like that. I'm going to have to remember that for later on. Mom handed me a card, and I started to read it. I'll give you a hint," said Ann. "No," I said, "I can't do it." I thought to myself, an hour hand was on, so that meant it was 7 something, and since the minute hand was on 12, it was 7 o'clock. That wasn't so hard. So what I do, 1 o'clock every morning, I wake up, and the next clue must be in my room. But where in my room? 7 o'clock. I was in bed, and I picked up my pillow, and there was the next clue. Okay, the little hand was on the 7, and the big hand was on the 1. I remembered how you count by 5s to find the minutes. So since the big hand was on the 1, that meant it was 5 minutes after 7. What do I do at 7:05? I take a shower, and I ran to my bathroom, and there in the soap dish was another clue. It was a little soggy, and I could read it. The little hand was on the 7, and the big hand was on the 3. So it was 7:15 minutes after 7. And I brushed my teeth, and at 7:15. Sure enough, the next clue was wrapped up around my toothbrush. The little hand was between 7 and 8, and the big hand was between 6. So it was 30 minutes after 7. At 7:30 each day, I eat breakfast, and this was getting a little easier and easier. Right again, my clue was on the kitchen table. And then I saw an envelope that Zombie's mouth. Inside was a ticket for the monster movie marathon. I couldn't believe it. I never thought I'd get to go. "All right," I said. I never did find the digital watch, but it doesn't matter. Now I can tell time on all kinds of clocks. And I said I'll never be late, and sometimes even early. So here's a time chart. Let's review what we learned today. Okay, so let's review what we learned. We learned that the big hand is the minute hand, and the red hand is the hour hand. Let's practice counting around the clock. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So when we go around the clock a whole entire time, we have 60 minutes, which equals an hour. Then we learned about AM. AM is time that happens in the morning when you get up. Then we learned about PM, and PM is a time that you happen after lunch, okay? PM is a time when you go to sleep. AM is a time when you wake up. Now let's review what we learned today. We learned about how I can tell time to the hour and half hour. So when you go on your classroom, you'll see Google Classroom, you'll see extra practice papers for you to do. Thank you. Have fun with math.